What we want to do briefly, with just a brief session here, is try to pull some of these threads together. And Ashok is a wonderful person to help us do that. He is the Director of Solution Strategy at Splunk, where he's focused on public sector and education markets. He's really kind of the evangelist for the company's solution portfolio. He has a lot of areas of expertise. He really understands the larger universe around modernization. And so we're just going to take some time here to explore some of the topics that came up today and make sure that you have a real kind of clear sense of the message to take home. So do you want to?
Yeah, we could stand. We could.
Oh, we can stand. Okay, yeah, that's great.
That's great.
All right. So actually, let's kind of step back and just. We've heard a lot here today. What are like the two top takeaways that you want to send people home with?
Wow, that's going to be difficult. I think I learned a lot today, John. I hope everybody did. First, before we get started, I wanted to thank all our sponsors and also our keynote and panelists for taking the time to show up and share their insights and their thoughts. I think it was very, very helpful. One thing that I learned was that IT modernization is real. It's about change, but it's real. It's here, right? And we need to kind of embrace it. That's what I heard. And you know, a couple of things that are driving IT modernization among all of the different things, whether it's consolidation of networks, whether it's shared services, cloud migration, whatever it is, a couple of things are driving it. And one of them is security. We need to make sure that our risk posture is enhanced. You know, we need to keep the threats at bay, attackers at bay. And, you know, legacy technologies are not really cut for doing that, number one. Number two that we heard, that we know about IT modernization is that it's about citizen experience at the end of the day. It's about serving the mission with the latest technologies, right, more efficiently, from that perspective. The commercial industry, from a citizen experience perspective, is setting the pace. So people are expecting the same kind of experience from us, whether we like it or not, right? And we need to be able to deliver that, if you will. And along the way, we know there's some challenges. It's not something that you can just lift and shift. Obviously, we have invested in technologies across the board, right? They are in silos, diverse places, heterogeneous, et cetera, et cetera. And what we find is that it's not really a lift and shift, right? But there is solutions. We heard Adilson today and a few others talk about it. It's about people, process, and technology coming together. The key thing is it is there, right? We have the tools, if you will. We just need to change the culture. We need to be able to transform it. And, you know, we did a survey recently, and we found very, very similar things.
Yeah, well, speaking of that survey, obviously one of the big issues here in modernization is cloud. And that's a big topic, and I love that transition from cloud first to cloud smart. But we also hear that there are impediments to the cloud. What, in the survey work you've done, what are you seeing as the impediments that agencies are struggling with right now?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, modernization is not something new. You heard Danielle say that earlier. We're learning lessons, and we're essentially putting that in practice as we move along. One of the things that we wanted to find out was what were the efforts that were actually going on. So we did a survey about 8 months ago, something like that, to see what agency IT staff were feeling. What are they doing? And it was kind of broad. We wanted to look at IT operations, how were they troubleshooting things? How's cloud migration going, right? If they are involved in it, even DevOps, things of that nature. All the different pieces, if you will, that talk to modernization. What we found out was that people want to do it, but the confidence level was lacking, right? And we also found out that this new IT environment with cloud and things of that nature, you heard echoes of it earlier today as well, during the panels, was causing a complexity, if you will, in the daily lives, if you will, of this IT staff. Why? Because of visibility. I mean, plain and simple. What they were not able to see was what would happen once I move it there. Can I get that visibility? I don't have visibility into availability, performance, you heard that, right? Also about metering and billing. Am I getting charged the same thing at the end of the month if I get a bill for $2,000 while I'm expecting something like $1,000? That's bad. So I need to understand that, on the go, if you will. How can that help me so I can balance my pieces, right? And it's also about the spikes, if you will, in traffic. When do I need to provision what appropriately and things of that nature. Security, you heard that. Security risk was something that keeps continuing to be echoed. primarily, again, because people don't have that end-to-end visibility there, don't have those insights into those environments, especially when you start getting into multiple clouds, on-premise versus cloud environment and things of that nature.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that, because clearly the hybrid cloud environment is sort of the world we're in right now.
Yeah.
What are some of the difficulties there, and how do you get around those?
Yeah, so with the hybrid cloud, for example, we're not just talking about multiple clouds, AWS, Azure, Google, private cloud, whatever it is. We're also talking about on-premise, because when you look at the IT modernization report and identifying the HVAs, the high-valued assets and things of that nature, what you find is some of them may have to be on-premise, right, because of the classification of data, of whatever it might be. So a service that you deliver, whether it's a registration service or whatever it might be, can spread across environments and be in a hybrid environment. The first thing is risk, security, right? The implementation of that security across these multiple environments is going to be different. So if I have a control, let's say from an access control perspective or something in nature, we need to understand, do we meet the spirit of that control, right? And if it turns red, for example, can I drill in and see where the problem might be, right? It just not applies to the data that's being stored, but it also the user, it's all the systems accessing it, the services accessing it. It spreads across all of those different things. So that's something to consider, right? The second thing is the management, if you will, across these different clouds is not standardized, management and configurations. So they are all going to be different. So you need to be able to aggregate all of those different information, again, and see, what is it that I'm doing? What is going on? Like, again, gets back to that granular visibility I need so I can kind of get ahead of the process, so to speak, right? One of the things I really like about what we offer in Splunk is this baselining capability. It's basically machine learning powered, if you will. I can get a baseline and then on an hourly basis even see, where the spikes are and things of that nature. So from a management perspective, I can kind of decide when I need to provision. So I'm not over-provisioning, under-provisioning, which kind of speaks to, what I'm going to get built. I kind of know about it ahead of time. So those are some of the issues that start to come along, when it comes to a hybrid environment.
Now, a lot of our discussion has been sort of at the infrastructure level, talking about the systems, the processes, and all that. But what does IT modernization actually have to do with mission? What does it actually have to do with the services that agencies provide? What's the connection there?
I think a lot of times we just stay at the IT level and we speak about it all the time, but it is about the mission. It is about the citizen experience. Right? Like I said earlier, if you look at the civilian agencies, the impetus there is primarily that citizen experience. Danielle talked about the GSA's 5 COEs, and if you look at the COEs, 3 of them are around citizen experience, delivering that satisfaction, if you will, and the commercial industry is pretty much setting the pace. People want to be able to access data anywhere, anytime, on any device. And if I go to your website, and if it doesn't, perform like I want it to, it doesn't give me the response I'm looking for, I can't submit something, immediately get up and tweet, right? And say, hey, this agency is bad, they can't do anything, it gets all over the press. I mean, we don't want that happening. Essentially it comes to the program and the image of the reputation of the agency, the image of the program, and things of that nature. So that's one. I think it also means a lot from a DoD perspective. Pretty much, when you start to look at some of the things that they're trying to do, wanting to have real-time situational awareness at the tactical edge, trying to improve the warfighter's execution ability, outcomes, and things of that nature, what they really need is this real-time situational awareness, right? Legacy systems don't necessarily, kind of lean themselves or not congenial necessarily to deliver on that particular piece. But what we know is that there is data available that you can pull, right, and deliver those insights at the places that they want them to, be it whether it's a security use case, whether it's an IT operations type thing, trying to troubleshoot, if you will, or even delivering the service to meet an SLA. Across the board, you have the data in order to be able to pull those pieces together, but it is about that mission outcome. It is about that, delivering that program objective and that citizen experience, if you will.
Okay, well, the morning is wearing on. If people want more information, where do they go?
Sure. We have a number of Splunk employees here. Any Splunkers still here? Yes. We see a lot of them. Ask us how we can help you. There's people outside as well. We're here to talk to you about your challenges, and we can help you. You can go to Splunk.com, if you want, download, a sample, free code, if you will, and play with it, see what it looks like. We have other forums coming up. As you saw, May 22nd, we've got our second forum on the data-driven cybersecurity aspect. And then June 27th, we continue to do that with AI and ML. What are the capabilities that we have there? We have Conf coming up. Conf is our annual users conference. That's going to be in October in Orlando. So that's something that you can come to. Do go to our website often, because what we do is we have these types of forums and workshops and seminars just to educate you on what we can help you with, understand your challenges, and how we can help you solve those problems.
Okay, great. And just a clarification, that June 27th event, the title is Machine Learning, New Insights into the Modern Enterprise. So be sure to be there. Well, I want to thank you all for attending here this morning, and thank you, Ashok, for the session. Much appreciated.
Appreciate it very much.
So please, lots of experts here. Take advantage of that. But otherwise, go and have a good day.
Thank you, John.